going on, guys? Joe back here again with Driving to the Draft. I have another guest with me, as you can see sitting next to me, as well as from the title down below. Once again, we'll get to her in a second. Let me just talk to you guys for a second and give you guys a channel update. This past Friday, we put up episode 11 of Team Titty Sprinkles in the Fate of Delmark. If you guys haven't seen it, you should definitely check it out. It's a great time. I think, personally, we're definitely hitting our stride. This was an experiment for us in the beginning, but it's definitely turned into a lot more than that. Hopefully, you guys think that we've improved along the way. I think we have. So definitely check it out. Let us know what you think in the comments of any of our videos. Tweet at us, Facebook. Those links are in the description as well to those pages. Also, the Magic videos, the Oath of the Gatewatch videos, all of the openings have been going so well. Thank you all for the support. If you guys haven't seen those, definitely check those out as well. We loved opening them. We had some fun moments, some awesome moments, so definitely go ahead and check those out if you get the chance. I'll have that annotated either here and or at the end. But for now, the important part of this video is guest origins. So we're going to do this slightly differently this time. Last time we had Dave on, and he talked about his origins the same way that I did with RPG, MTG, Magic, and YouTube. We have Amy with us today. I know you guys have seen her once before in person on the channel, but you've heard her voice in all of the Team Titty Sprinkles in the Fate of Delmark videos and in a lot of the Magic openings as well. She does an awesome job of setting up all the cards for us to make them look nice when we do booster box openings, so thank you for that. But I think today we're just going to talk about Amy's Magic origins, and I think from my perspective, Amy has a different perspective on Magic and RPGs and a lot of the stuff that we do on the channel, because it's not necessarily something that she had an interest in all the way through. I'm not going to ruin her storytelling, so I'll let her take over. So Amy, hello. First of all, welcome to Driving to the Draft. And why don't you tell everybody about your Magic origins?
Okay, so rather than start at the beginning, I figured because my Magic origins are kind of segmented, I figured what I would do is sort of start at the end and then work my way back so that you kind of understand the little bits and pieces that had to fall together in order to come up with the culmination of everything. So I'll start with the first set that interested me. Basically, when Magic started putting all of the lore online, is kind of when I started getting interested in the game. Which it really started with Khans of Tarkir for me. That was really the first set that was cool in my eyes, because that set really had history, it really had a story, it really had all of these things that were, you know, just intriguing to me and my personality. I love history, and, you know, Magic was never really that, you know, interesting to me because it was a game, you know. Games really aren't that big with me. I like reality, and, you know, so, you know, all of you are probably going, blasphemy, you know, but games were never really that big with me. You know, I like sitting and doing solitary, you know, activities where in the end you really get something. You know, I don't like sitting there and playing a game and, you know, exerting myself trying to, you know, advance to the next level when in the end you really got nothing from it. You know, I always liked doing crafts and building things and, you know, doing stuff with my hands and really, you know, ending up with a product at the end that made you say, okay, that work was worth it. So, but for me, I really liked the history behind the story making of Khans of Tarkir, and it just kept going on from there, because each new set took that story to the next place. And even though the whole Zendikar story and Magic Origins kind of took it in different directions, it still felt like it was all a cohesive history of kind of what happened to all of these people in all of these different places in the same universe. So it still seemed like the story was advancing and moving on and telling more about that universe. So that was really what interested me. So at this point, even though I have played Magic twice on, what's it called?
Magic Duels.
Magic Duels. Sorry, guys.
I couldn't think of it either.
I played it twice on Magic Duels. Playing is not my thing. What I really like is the story and the art on the cards. I always liked the art on the cards, even before I was really interested in Magic at all. The art was always fantastic, which, everyone who's seen a Magic card knows. But, I really didn't get interested until the story became interesting to me. So reading the lore with Joe, and, just getting to see more of the cards and sort of see how the art on the cards and even the mechanics of the cards tie into the story is what's cool to me. So I'll backtrack a little bit now, and say that sort of the thing that made Magic more a part of my life before I was really interested in it was, as Joe mentioned in the one of the other Driving to the Draft videos, that I went to college with a friend of mine, and he ended up opening up a comic book shop, and I would frequent that store because I wanted to hang out with my friend, and because it was rather close to my school. So him and I went to school, and then after we weren't in the same class anymore, he opened up the comic book shop, and I would go and visit him there a lot, because either I was on my way to class, or I was coming home from class, or sometimes I just didn't want to go to class, and I needed a place to go. So I would hang out there a lot, and just kind of help him do stuff, clean the store, organize the Pokemon binders, and, and just hang out, talk. That I think sort of opened up my mind to the concept of Magic a little bit more, regardless of the fact that I was still kind of adamant that I didn't want to learn how to play. That kind of, I don't know, I guess made me more comfortable with it. Made it feel like part of my day-to-day life a little bit. And prior to that, in high school, when I was hanging out with Joe, a lot of times he'd be playing Magic with our other friends. Now, did you used to play with Schnoz a lot?
I did.
Okay.
With Schnoz, with Austin, with Creepy.
Yeah, so people that you guys know from the RPG played Magic with him back in high school. And some other people too that you don't know.
Sure.
But I found myself kind of competing with Magic a lot in trying to spend time with him. And, you know, we'll just leave it at that. And so I kind of had in the beginning, I kind of had a love-hate relationship with Magic a little bit. Mostly hate. Because really, it gave me a chance to hang out with him because I knew that he was going to be sitting there for a long period of time, hanging out with other people I liked, and I could just kind of sit there quietly and hang out with him and not have to do too much. But on the other hand, that meant that I wasn't, even though I was spending time with him, we weren't really spending time together because we weren't doing something that we both enjoyed. It was really just whatever, you know, he was playing Magic and I was just kind of sitting there watching. And it took a really long time for me to get to a point where I am now, which is I'm interested and I care and I don't hate the word magic every time he says it, and every time he buys Magic cards I don't say, oh my god, this again, you know. So yeah, basically my origin story started back in high school, you know, sitting with him, watching them play Magic, going, what's the appeal of this? And then, you know, he wore me down, and I've grown accustomed to it.
Well, and I think it's also,
I actually like it.
I think it's also a testament to Wizards of the Coast in what they've decided to do with these stories, in that they're literally able to bring in an entirely new play group.
Yes.
And a lot of times in, whether it's the video game discussion that's been going on a lot recently, or whether it's gaming in general, a lot of times there are certain hardcore gamers, and I am obviously not one of those people, but there are certain hardcore gamers who will say that people like Amy have no place in gaming because they don't like the game itself and they don't care, and yet at the same time, what they don't understand, and it's an argument that's been brought up many times, I'm not being original here in what I'm saying, but I truly believe it, in that it's good for the game. Amy wants a fat pack of every set that she cares about because it shows her the art, it shows her the stories. You've seen her open some of that product on the channel, and it's helpful for the game itself. Because if Wizards of the Coast is drawing new players in, even if it's a fat pack per set, that's still one more fat pack that would have not been sold. And so it helps improve the game, it helps increase the awareness of the game and the money that that game is earning, which means that they're going to make more of it, and they're going to try harder, and they're going to make the game that we all love for very different reasons that much better in many different respects. So.
Right. And if they can stay, you know, up to par with the continuity of the stories and make cards and mechanics and story fit in together the way that they should, then I think I will stay interested. If they begin to really fall short of that is maybe when I'll lose interest, but you know, I think that is a good business decision on their part, because it you know, it's gonna draw more people in, even if, like he said, you know, even if I'm not really playing, I'm still buying the cards. Mm-hmm. And there's still a chance that I might buy even more cards, because say, you know, we're reading the story and my favorite character right now is Nissa, 100%. Now, most people might not love Nissa. Maybe she's not the best playable card, okay? But to me, she's the best character because I care about the story. and she's the one I identify with the most or like the most or whatever it is. So she's my favorite character. So say, you know, I went and got a fat pack and didn't get Nissa and really wanted Nissa, well then maybe I'd still go and buy Nissa. Or maybe I'd still go and buy another fat pack in the hopes of getting Nissa. Or maybe still go buy a box in the hopes of getting Nissa, which is maybe a little bit over the top.
True.
But, you know, that's more money that they can make, regardless of the fact that I'm not sitting there at a table with my friends actually playing the game. So, Vorthos Pride.
Yes, absolutely Vorthos Pride. So, in closing, first of all, Amy, thank you for being on Driving to the Draft with me. You guys will see Amy more. Obviously, when Dave came on, he talked about RPGs and YouTube as well. I mentioned a little bit about Amy's YouTube stuff. She's got a lot more to talk about. So we will see her again in another Driving to the Draft. I look forward to it. This was a lot of fun. So Amy, thank you so much. And I've already mentioned everything to you guys in the beginning. Definitely check out the description. Check out some annotations if I've linked them up at the top or if they were throughout the video. If you know someone who would like what we do, I don't usually say that in these, but please share this with them. And also, if you have other ideas of topics that you want me, Amy, Dave, Schnoz, Austin, Tiara, anyone to talk about, tweet it at us. Send it to us in a Facebook message. Put it on our Facebook page. It'll give us more ideas of topics and more things that you guys want to hear, so that if a topic comes up that you guys don't like, you know, tell us what you'd rather hear. But as I always say in closing, in whichever video you watch next, guys, we will see you all next time. Thanks.